Hello everyone. Today, let's chat about 2018 social media use statistics from the Pew Research Center. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lauren Allegrezza. I'm the owner of Marketing to Mission, which is a marketing group based in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, which works with small business owners to do marketing that is meaningful, measurable, and ultimately moves them forward in their mission. Today is the first video of a new segment I'm gonna call Let's Chat. At least that's what I'm gonna call it for now. We could change it later. So today, let's chat about social media usage research. So I decided to do this video because I've had the same conversation with a couple of my clients about what is the best social media platform to be on for my small business. And of course it always comes down to what's your business, who's your audience, what's your offering, and those are the things that are gonna help you to decide. But I came across this article from the Pew Research Center that has great statistics about social media usage and thought we would walk through it, chat about it together. So we're just gonna go through a couple of the main insights, and I'll be super interested to hear what are your main questions about social media use for your small business. Put them in the comments below, and we'll definitely be interested in hearing from you so that maybe we can chat about some of those questions later on. So let's get started. The article that I'm referencing is linked below in the description, so be sure to open that up. And the first thing is that it is from 2018. Pew Research Center published it in March based on data from surveys that they did in January of 2018. And now it's February 2019, so this is the most recent data we have from Pew, but they'll probably be coming out with something soon, so be on the lookout for that. Okay, first things first, check your source. Before you start making any decisions about some sort of stat that you see somewhere on the internet, make sure you look at where it comes from. This one comes from Pew Research Center. Obviously, a very reputable institution, has been doing surveys and data analysis for years and years on many, many topics, so we can trust it, but just always check your sources, people. Always check your sources. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is that this particular article is looking at adults. That's 18 and older. So just make sure you're looking at the who was surveyed and what the data, what group it's about. There's a separate article, also linked to that, about teen use. So that's the, like 13 to 17 range. And that will have different data. So just be sure that, whatever the statistics are that you're looking at, that you see what audience was actually surveyed. So now that our basics are taken care of, let's take a look. So one of the things that really popped out at me first and foremost is that Facebook overall still at the top pretty much. It is still above Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, across all of those in the aggregate overall, 18 and plus. So there's a lot of trendy things in social media. That's okay. Different platforms are gonna come and go, and over the last many, many years, Facebook has still been up at the top. So do not disregard it for your small business, for your marketing strategy. Just really think through and just don't disregard it because you think, oh, millennials aren't on this, or the younger kids aren't on this. Let's look at the data, and then of course think about how it matches up to your audience. So that's first thing first. The second thing, YouTube. This one was even a little surprising to me, I'll be honest. So YouTube is the only one that had higher overall usage than Facebook. So I'm talking about the first graph, which is listed at the top in the article, and it's the percentage of US adults who say they use the following social media sites online or on their cell phone. So that's 73% of US adults using YouTube. Then it's 68 for Facebook, and then there's a huge drop, and the next one's 35% who are on Instagram. So YouTube is an interesting point because we don't think of it generally as a social media platform because we don't have to use it. We don't have to create an account and have friends in order to get the content on there. And a lot of people end up using it not in a way intentionally, but by accidentally. You'll be searching for how to change the battery in my Acura. Then you'll find a video and you'll watch it. So it's used differently, but it's used a lot. Now, there is a whole lot about video content for marketing, and that is a whole other topic that we're not going to get into today. And this is all just to say, keep it in mind. Start thinking about it. The next thing are the age breakdowns. So this is pretty interesting. The next graph in the article below, it was a little bit confusing at first, to be honest. You really have to think about it just to understand what's going on. But each line, there are 4 different dots, and those 4 dots represent the 4 different age groups: 18 to 24, 25 to 29, 30 to 49, and 50 plus. So you'll see that on the top line, YouTube, 94% of 18 to 24-year-olds say they use YouTube. And then the line below, 80% say they use Facebook. Next line, 78% say they use Snapchat, and so forth. So again, YouTube, very dominant, very prominent, very interesting. Be sure that's on your radar. The next thing is that the variance levels. So when you look at YouTube, you'll see the lowest point is 56% of the 50 plus group. And the highest is 94, which is not a huge, it's a huge range, but it's not as big as, check out Snapchat, which has 7% of the 50 plus range, but 78% of the 18 to 24. Much bigger variance, much wider disparity from the lowest to the highest. So why does that matter? You have limited time and limited resources, so think about if you're going to be on a social media platform, where are you going to get the biggest bang for your buck? And your buck might be your time, just remember that. But again, this is dependent upon who's your audience, how are you trying to reach them, how is this all fitting into your strategy, your social strategy, and your marketing strategy. So just some things to think about. Now, at the end of the article is something pretty interesting, is that they asked questions about how hard it would be to give up social media. And it looked like a majority of people said that it would not be hard to give up these social media sites. I have some mixed feelings about that. I have to wonder if people are really being honest with themselves, but the data is what the data is. But just remember that the data reports what the people say. The data does not say whether or not the people are lying or that they really know how they actually feel. So just something to keep in mind. Overall, let me say this. As somebody who spends a lot of time on social media for my job and for my personal life, I understand there are great, amazing benefits to social media, both for your personal life, for staying in touch with friends, catching up with people, getting people together for events and groups, as well as for marketing, to communicating with audiences, building community, building brand loyalty and awareness, all great things. However, as with most things in life, moderation. I am also a really big advocate for social media common sense and sometimes taking a break, unplugging, because you know what? There's still real people in the world and we need to be able to communicate with those people. So whether it's just taking a day and saying no social media today, gonna completely take a social Sabbath, as I do sometimes, or if it's a week or a month, whatever is gonna work for you, I would strongly recommend taking time to unplug from social media, to be sure that you're connecting in person with those around you and with new people, because that's overall just going to make you healthier as a person, and it will even make you appreciate the value you do have on social media. So that's it for today. Our first Let's Chat. Leave some questions below about what are your questions about social media or about marketing for your small business in general, and maybe that will be the content of our next Let's Chat.